the chance to ask questions now or today, and I will give you a short overview how the exam will look like. So, I mean, probably you know most of how the exam will look. Let's see. So, you should now be able to see my screen. So the exam is on the 24th of February at 2 p.m. It's as it stands right now, the Audi Max 1, and you should always check it in the next weeks, because sometimes times and locations can change. But normally we will write you an email if we see it, but you should always check it by yourself. Yeah, as you may already know, I think the transport processes exam will take 60 minutes. 60 minutes. Then we will have a short break of about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, and then we will have the PSE exam. It will be a closed book exam, so you are not allowed to use any books or notes or something like that, but you may use the calculator, which is not programmable. And yeah, the exam consists of 3 tasks. The task will be similar to the exercises we did during the lectures. And then there will be around probably 5 questions you have to answer. So are there any questions regarding the exam? Now is the time to ask. No questions? Okay, any questions regarding the exercises? You may ask now anything regarding the exercises, all the exercises, or the last exercise 6. Or any questions?
I have a question regarding the exam.
Yeah.
Could we have something like test or sample questions kind of things, just to get an idea of how the questions would be structured?
Let's see. So, let's see if I can find an example without giving too much away. Let's see. So basically, well, let's see if I find an example. So, the question could be, for example, that you have a relative gain matrix, and then you should maybe fill out the missing numbers there. So that, of course, you have to know how these matrices work. Or, for example, that we will give you an example of a distillation column with a certain reflux ratio or something like that. And you should give us a suitable control structure for that. So then I have shown a question, for example, once in an exercise. So how you could, for example, regulate the temperature of a reactor. Then maybe you should give some some examples for that, or yeah, maybe you have an heat exchanger network and you should be eliminate paths or loops or something like that. So there is a mixture probably of questions where you have to know something especially on other questions where you have to think about what makes sense, kind of. So we will check if you understand, if you have understood some parts of the lecture. So yeah, it's I can't really narrow it down which part of the lecture will be important, but I can tell you at least that the tasks will give more points than the questions overall. Yeah, but you should ask yourself where you discussing the most in the lecture with Professor Skiborowski and that stuff. I think. Yeah. I hope this helps a little bit. Yeah, of course, I can't give too much away.
Thank you. Just one more question. Like I got about the task part, the numerical part, but what about the theoretical questions? Like, what kind of theoretical questions could we have?
From the task? No, I'm sorry. What kind of typical question?
You said there'll be task and there'll be a question part, I mean, a theoretical question. So, yeah. Could you give like an overview of what kind of theoretical questions could be asked? Like, because there are a lot of definitions and all in the first initial chapters.
Yeah, I know. I can't give you really an overview, but if you it makes sense to learn the heuristics, to learn, for example, how a relative gain analysis matrix works, how you should some rules or heuristics regarding the control structures or something like that. So I will ask you probably, or we will ask you some questions probably, which you may use later for your work. So, for example, if we show you a relative gain in a matrix, it's always feasible to learn how this matrix should look like. So there are some rules how this matrix should look like, and yeah, for example, that's one example. Then of course, I mean, if you we all a question regarding the heat exchanger networks, we all, also got that in the exercise, some rules or something like that. Yeah, then it always makes sense to name some rules of approaches or heuristics, stuff like that. I know it's sometimes yeah, it's hard to explain without giving too much away. But you should always the first priority. I would say the first priority is to look into the exercises. If you know the exercises or can do all the exercises, then you are good with the calculating part, the tasks, which are most of the points, and then you have also covered some of the questions probably. Yeah, and the rest is look through the lecture and find things, rules, or yeah, stuff that's important. I will ask you, for example, how much energy was saved in the chemical industry in the last 20 years or something like that, right? So I won't ask you any numbers. You have to know by heart or something like that. I won't do that. Yeah, I hope it helps a little bit, at least. Any other questions? questions regarding the exercises, maybe? Or you have any? You're not sure if you understand some of the lecture parts? Now you can ask me. You can always ask me or write me an email in the next weeks before the exam. Yeah, if you have any questions regarding the exercises or something else. Okay. So maybe. So anyone any questions regarding exam or exercise? If you haven't any questions, then yeah, I think we are already done. Just wanted to give you the possibility as to ask questions because we didn't have possibilities last week. Okay, so you're fine. Then bye and see you at the exam.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.